McKenzie Dern. She is a girl who has won her last couple of fights. Made a transition from IBJJF jiu-jitsu competition to mixed martial arts, and so far she's doing pretty well. That's good. Good for her. Good job, McKenzie. Now, the not so good. Where I take issue is how recently there have been all of these reports of her calling out Ronda Rousey, saying she is better than Ronda. She'll be the next Ronda. She could submit Ronda. She would beat Ronda if they fought. And that's kind of stupid, and I'll tell you why. You might as well say, hey, guess what? I would beat Bruce Lee in a fight. Yeah, I'd totally beat Bruce Lee. I bet he wouldn't even show up to that fight. You know, Ronda is retired. She's retired. And I would be too if I made $3 million for my last fight. I think I would have retired right there and then. Whew. She is trying to make a name for herself by attaching it to a name with more celebrity to it. And this is a very common practice. I'll see it on YouTube all the time. If there's a notorious YouTuber who says something, especially something controversial, there will be a whole host of videos trying to leech off of the success of that one by making a video about that video. I've even seen this meta process go on several layers more. A video about the video trying to sap some of that success, some of the viewership, some of those searches from that specific topic. And it's the same thing going on with Ronda and McKenzie. Ronda has no reason to acknowledge this call out. I mean, McKenzie is 2-0. And here's honestly what I think would happen if they did fight. McKenzie's takedowns. Her takedowns, I would say, are on par with what we saw Royce Gracie do in UFC 1. In other words, I'm talking about rushing in, clinching, falling on her opponents, and hoping they will tumble to the ground with her. That is not going to work with an Olympic medalist in judo. It's not going to work with Ronda. Okay? MMA is so vastly removed from IBJJF rules. It is so vastly removed from the skill set required to be an IBJJF world champion. IBJJF means nothing. Nothing in mixed martial arts. Oh man, it's a stupid rule set, I'll be honest. It's a really stupid rule set. Everything cool is illegal. I mean, takedowns, single leg takedowns with your head on the outside. Most leg locks except the ankle lock until you get to purple belt level, at which point you're finally allowed to go for knee bars. And then just recently, what is it, brown belts, black belts, I don't remember. One of them are allowed to do the calf cranks. But everything's too dangerous and you can't cross your foot over the hip line or it's knee reaping and that's too dangerous and you can't slam. And of course, you can sit up like this and you know, you do that in MMA, you're going to be eating shots to your head and nobody knows how to do takedowns. Nobody shoots for anything. It's butt scooting and guard pulling all day long, and that's garbage. It's absolute garbage in MMA, and you see it in McKenzie's takedowns. Yes, she's got some pretty groundwork. Okay, and when she's fighting less skilled grapplers, she looks awesome. Okay, but you try that garbage against a high school wrestler. Yes, a high school wrestler. You try takedowns like that, you try clinches like that, you try an entry like that against a high school wrestler, you will get dominated. Absolutely dominated. So, man, no, McKenzie, settle down. You're doing good so far. I'm going to give you some advice. Your first 10 fights are going to suck. Your first 10 fights are going to suck. And yes, I know you won your last two, and good job. good job. But years from now, you're going to look back at those fights and you're going to think, oh my goodness, I sucked. I had no clue. I didn't know what I was doing. And you know what? I bet right now Ronda's doing the same thing. She's looking back on her career. She's looking at her fights and she's thinking, man, what I didn't know then that I know now, oh man, I could write a book about. I'd be interested in reading that book. So, man, Ronda, if you're listening, write that book. Your first 10 fights are going to suck. And this applies to everybody. And my first 10 fights sucked. Even the ones that I won. Even the ones that I won in dominant fashion. Man, I won this fight taking 0 damage, choked the guy unconscious in under a minute, and that fight sucked. Because, man, I look back on that today and I think, man, I lucked into that. Yeah, I went through the steps to do the correct technique, but, man, I lucked into that. If I was fighting somebody at my skill level today, that garbage wouldn't fly. Okay? So, please don't mistake your early success with entry-level mixed martial arts with, you know, a world championship title fight qualifier. And women's MMA is really, it's still new right now. It's just a baby, and the whole UFC championship format sucks. It sucks right now. It's garbage, and I'll tell you why. Because they give title shots based on notoriety, not on skill, and not on who has actually earned the shot. Okay? If you are notorious enough, if you are an outspoken character enough, if there are enough people who believe you are worth buying a ticket to watch, whether they love you or hate you, chances are you're going to be the person selling a pay-per-view for the UFC. And if you are boring as hell, forget about it, even if you're a great fighter. Okay? That's why there are so many great fighters out there that you will probably never see in the UFC, specifically because they're not characters. They're not heels, they're not faces, they're just fighters. They go to work, they get the job done, and they go back to work and they do it again, and they do it again, they do it again, and they don't talk smack, and they don't put on airs, they don't wear a mask, and it doesn't make for good television. It makes for great fights. Personally, I don't care about good television. I hate reality TV. I hate that garbage. I don't watch it. I don't participate in that. When I watch a fight, I want to see the fight. Now, I know a lot of people on the internet have very livid opinions about certain fighters, like, oh, I hate Ronda, she's disrespectful to her opponents. I don't care. I don't care. I watch the fight. A lot of people say, I don't like John Jones, he's cocky. So what? So what? I'm not watching his personal life, I'm watching his fighting. And his fighting is good. His fighting is phenomenal. Okay? So, yeah, back to McKenzie Dern. She's vying for media attention. And, you know, I guess that's what the job has become these days, self-promotion. It's all about garnering views on social media, getting people to share your nonsense and garbage with others. But take it down a notch. Take it down a notch, girl. Just get out there, get some fights and get some experience and keep winning fights. Okay? Keep improving. Work those takedowns. Work your wrestling. Okay? Again, IBJJF world champ. That matters if you got your opponent in your guard. Okay? That matters if you got the wrestling chops to back it up. That matters if you know how to box. And man, her boxing. A lot of people poke fun at Ronda's boxing. And man, I spent some time reviewing McKenzie's striking and her striking training, and you got no room to talk. No room to talk. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't know who that dude is coaching you, but man, you got to put in some serious work before you can talk smack like that. Man. Boxing for MMA, it's a whole different animal than boxing. But you got some serious hours in front of you. So, man, please don't get cocky yet. Stay humble. Stay humble. It's very easy to be likable when you're humble. And you know what? You know what people like? They like somebody likable. Yeah, I know that the characters out there, the heels, the Conor McGregor's out there, the guys who like to talk a big talk and can back it up with, with their fists. They're popular. Like I said, people either love them or they love to hate them, and either way they're gonna buy those tickets to watch them. But man, look at the fighters who had the real lasting power. George St. Pierre, Matt Hughes, I mean, the guys who dominated the most stacked divisions in the history of the UFC. These guys were not smack talkers. Man, not smack talkers. I mean, George St. Pierre, I think the worst thing that ever came out of his mouth toward an opponent was, "I am not impressed with your performance." Yeah, I know it became a meme. It was funny because it's like the nicest insult you can possibly say. I'm not impressed. But yeah, McKenzie, your first 10 fights are going to suck, so, get 10 fights under your belt. You could be better than Ronda. A lot of people have that potential, but, could be. Not yet. Not yet. You got a promising career in front of you. I'd love to see you, climb that ladder and build upon that potential. So